usually it's like 9:07 when we start. And so now I don't have my notes open. Mason Fleming is producing.
Yeah, we're just getting the show started because you're a little late to getting me some info there.
Yeah, I guess we got John Cena in the newsroom.
Yeah.
Can't see him.
Can't see me.
My kids still do that to me. Whenever we get into like a little argument, like, and if they win the argument, like, oh, you can't see me. I'm like, don't do that. That's disrespectful. And then
stop it. Like, you're right, but like, stop it.
And I power bomb him on the bed.
Nice. Pile drive him into the.
Friday, man, and I don't know. There's nothing to talk about today. Have you noticed that? It is a slow news day again.
Yeah, nothing big going on.
I got a text from Ray, and he goes, "Let me guess, it's gonna be Epstein front to back." No, we're not gonna do that all day. There is some updates on Epstein, and should more updates become available today, we will definitely be talking about it because it's the biggest news story anywhere. For starters, what the hell's going on with that birthday card? Did you see that? Did you see that there's some sort of birthday card?
There's always some sort of something in there.
Craziest thing. Will you send me that link? That way we can get some pictures on the screen. Again, this is what happens when we don't have Joan Jones, because this is usually
we'll just start falling apart without her.
Yeah, and then Dan was like talking my ear off on the way out of here. Did you see that?
He's a chatty Cathy.
He's like, I'm like, dude, we spent like an extra hour yesterday with each other. What more do you have to say, Dan? He's like, one more thing. Well,
hold on.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
So I finally looked at him. I said, Dan, moving on. And he's like, all right, 10-4. But last night, all right. So for starters, we had some news yesterday where that we had covered where there was an interview with John Solomon. And John Solomon said that Trump was up for a special prosecutor when it came to Epstein. And I thought to myself, like, we've seen this movie before. We do the special prosecutor that takes, millions of dollars of taxpayer money. It takes years and years. And then we get to the end and we get the special report, whether it's Durham or Mueller, and we go, all right, moving on. So I wasn't a huge fan of the special prosecutor idea. I just not a huge fan. I just didn't like it. And I don't know how you feel about it. But that news broke on John Solomon. Yesterday during the press briefing, Carolyn Leavitt said, no, we're not going to do that. Don't worry. That's not the move. And I was actually pleasantly pleased with that, although it did ruffle some feathers.
Well, the idea was floated from someone in the media to the president. The president would not recommend a special prosecutor in the Epstein case. That's how he feels. And as for his discussions with the attorney general, I'm not sure. Deanna.
Thank you.
So she says, no special prosecutor. That's not happening. Okay, that's fine. One reporter asked if the White House has been in touch with MAGA influencers who aren't satisfied with the Epstein situation. And I don't want to belabor the point, but the White House has definitely been in touch with influencers of all sorts. They've been requesting that people stop talking about it. We saw that online for a couple days. And there was a good chunk of people that said, no, we're not going to stop talking about it. But this is an interesting question.
Has the White House been directly in touch with some of the MAGA influencers that are still not satisfied with the administration's handling? And has the message to them been similar to what the president has said, which is sort of either let this go or we don't need your support?
Well, look, the president and this team are always in contact with the president's supporters with voices of many kinds on both sides of the aisle. I think that's part of the reason this president is a great president, because he's willing to listen and hear other people's perspectives. But ultimately, he has led this country, not just over the past 6 months to historic success, but also through his first 4 years as president. And as the leader and the creator of the MAGA movement, he has led through these perilous times for our country based on instinct and in the best interest of the country. And as I always say, the American people should trust in President Trump.
And what on
John,
the Fed chair?
Go ahead, John.
They've been in touch. They've been chatting. They've been talking. And Trump is in touch with his base all the time. Got it. Cool. Perfect. I'm here for it. Then we get news that Trump has spoken with Attorney General Pam Bondi, and that they're going to be releasing the grand jury testimony today. President Trump went on Truth Social And he said, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetuated by the Democrats should end right now. To which Pam Bondi quotes the tweet. She says, President Trump, we're ready to move to the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. So that's coming today. When it breaks, we'll be covering it. Obviously, this is a big story. But this really highlights why we can't stop talking about it. You know, over the past few days, I've been called, and I don't take any of this personally, just to let you know. I don't. I've been called worse than CNN, a traitor to Donald Trump, a liberal, Chris, shut up, stop talking about it. The boss said move on. And the entire time, I remain steadfast in the position that Donald Trump listens to his base. He listens to the voters. This is the key difference between Donald Trump and so many politicians before him. He keeps his finger on the pulse. And I said the fact that we kept talking about it led us to this moment where now they're going to release more documents. Now, some people said, well, that was the game plan all along. It's 4D chess. And Anna Paulina Luna went out there and she quite literally claimed after the True Social post from Trump and the subsequent quote tweet from Pam Bondi that this was, in fact, 4D chess. Anna Paulina Luna says, while others were busy stabbing President Trump in the back, we were working overtime behind the scenes in the Oval Office. This photo was taken earlier today, and no, it's not a coincidence. This is 4D chess, not checkers. Welcome to the big leagues. Enjoy phase 3. AG Pam Bondi is unsealing grand jury testimony, and there's much more to come. This is the most transparent administration in U.S. history. So if I'm being honest, I'm still doubting the 4D chess. I think that we're seeing movement because of the pressure from the voters, and I think that that's what we're seeing. In the original True Social post where Donald Trump calls for that unsealing, he said, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity. So I don't think that that sounds like something that's in the works. And if you are a 4D chess bro, then why is Donald Trump still in full kayfabe while Anna Paulina Luna is blowing the up, right? Like, what? It doesn't add up. And am I missing something, or is it Anna Paulina Luna's op to blow? I don't get it. Still doubting the 4D chess. Maybe I'm wrong, and I would be pleasantly surprised. But I think what we're seeing is a direct result of the pressure from the people demanding answers and demanding transparency and not letting up on this story. We can't let up on this story. There's a lot. Now, I mentioned this during the Cross with Dan, and I thought, that the Democrat hoax does have a bit of a new light today, especially given the Wall Street Journal story that they have been pushing. The Wall Street Journal got their hands on a birthday card. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jeffrey. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And my kids do the cha-cha-cha. Do your kids do cha-cha-cha after they sing happy birthday? It was annoying at first, I'll be honest with you, but I've grown to love it.
Yeah, my kids don't do that.
Yeah, no. Well, wait until you have some.
Yeah.
All it takes is one kid at a birthday party to throw in a cha-cha-cha.
And then something new.
And then everybody does it.
Yeah, they just grasp on it.
We do the cha-cha-cha. I didn't like it at first. It's grown on me. Anyway, 2003 is the year. Donald Trump sends a birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein. Press X for doubt. Press X for doubt. The Wall Street Journal releases an alleged letter from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein for Epstein's 50th birthday. President Trump is calling the letter fake, and it is. Trump, full disclosure, he's suing, and we'll get to his statements in a second. But the letter allegedly involves a hand-drawn naked woman from Donald Trump. So there's that. Will you put the picture on the screen of the hand-drawn picture from Donald Trump? Perfect. Thank you. He's an artist. It's
something.
It's pretty accurate. I feel like this is what there's a reason that you need to watch the stream. I'm gonna have a hard time describing that on air.
Yeah, without a
Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Hit like and subscribe. Help me feed the kids. So they're pushing this birthday card. Trump says it's not from him. He says, not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story. I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women. It's not my language. It's not my words. I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal like I sued everyone else. This letter is bananas. They said that he signed his name on the letter to make it look like pubic hair. Yep.
Ooh.
It's weird that they just found this now.
Yeah, it's like they've been holding it in their back pocket if it is even real.
They had to make up a Russian hooker story for the Russia collusion hoax, right? The pee tape. Donald Trump likes to get peed on. And they were sitting on this gem of a birthday note to Jeffrey Epstein. I don't believe it. They say it isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the naked woman was a typewritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. Do you want me to read the card? Have you heard this?
I haven't heard it yet, no.
Oh, get ready.
I heard them talking about it with Dan, but I was like, I gotta wait.
It's poetry. It's pure poetry. It belongs in the Louvre. it should be framed.
Perfect art.
Honestly, I would, if we can find, if they do, because they haven't produced the letter.
Of course not.
If they do produce the letter, I don't know if you know this, and maybe if you're a longtime listener, you remember this, but when the Trump mugshot came out, I framed it, and we have it in the studio.
Yeah.
If we see a picture of this letter, I will also frame it and put it in the studio, just so you know. It will have a place of prominence because it is that good. All right, so it isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the naked woman was a typewritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. It starts with a voiceover, as all good imaginary conversations do. Voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything. Then it goes back and forth between Donald and Jeffrey. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey says, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? I found my next tattoo. Enigmas never age.
Where are you doing it, though? That's is this across the chest, or is this like a forehead?
Lower back, baby. Lower back.
Tramp stamp. Enigmas never change.
Enigmas never age. Tramp stamp. I'm doing it. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Trump, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret.
This is the weirdest fanfic I've ever heard.
You see, like it sounds like it's written by like a crazed teenage girl, doesn't
it?
Like somebody that would like write, like you said, fan fiction. It sounds like something like back in the day with like the Twilight Saga. Like, and I'm sorry, I can't picture Donald Trump writing a birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein. That's written like gay Twilight fan fiction. It's just not. It doesn't pass the sniff test.
Yeah, this is not the Edward. This is not the Edward or Jacob I remember.
No.
You right to jail.
Yeah. What the hell is this? Even Elon Musk, who tweeted out Trump is in the Epstein files, tweeted out yesterday. It really doesn't sound like something Trump would say. TBH. Yeah. To be honest, no. Enigmas never age. That should have been the title of the episode today.
Oh, that would have been good.
That was a huge missed opportunity. You know who I blame? Joan Jones for throwing us off our game.
Come on.
Joan, if you're listening, very disappointed in you.
You should have named our title better.
We would have
known.
Even Elon Musk calls bovine scatology on this birthday letter. Which, again, I do want framed in the studio. It needs to be framed. J.D. Vance said, forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter bullshit. The Wall Street Journal should be ashamed for even publishing it. Where is this letter? Would you be shocked to learn that they never showed it to us before publishing it? Does anyone honestly believe this sounds like Donald Trump? No. Nobody believes it sounds like Donald Trump. There's no huge. There's no bigly. And like if it was from Trump, right? It would be like, wow, Jeffrey 50, that's huge. You know what I mean? It would have been different. It would have been different.
Yeah, not one mention of China.
No mentions of China?
China.
Tell you what, I'm going to buy you something really nice. It's going to be made in America. It's not going to be made in China.
China.
J.D. Vance continued, doesn't it violate some rule of journalistic ethics to publish a letter like this without showing it to the victim of this hit piece?
Oh, for sure.
I think that you'd have to be operating from a standpoint that journalistic ethics still exist, which I don't think is the case any longer. He goes on to say, well, the people who have bought into every hoax against President Trump show an ounce of skepticism before buying into this bizarre story. Fun fact, if you pay attention to lefty Twitter or Blue Sky or Reddit or any of those, like, nope, they didn't show any skepticism with this. They bought it hook, line, and sinker. We were asking yesterday, what is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax? And I think maybe this is what Donald Trump was talking about, because it does sound like behind the scenes, the Wall Street Journal was trying to get comment on this for a day or two. So when he was pissed off and saying it's a hoax, I think looking at it through this lens of the birthday card, the bosom-filled birthday card, this is what he was talking about.
Expert drawings.
The best drawings.
Top notch.
How did Donald Trump respond to the letter? I'll bring you that when we get back. He wasn't very happy. Threatened a lawsuit, and he said, I don't do drawings. That's not my style. 921, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN.
Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking. I lost 70 pounds and my friend lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months.
Wow, what are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99.
927, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, you get those at betterwater.com. We're talking about the birthday card. Yes. It was written with a typewriter. Inside, a hand-drawn naked woman with a Donald Trump autograph that's supposed to mimic pubic hair. That sounds like something Donald Trump would do, right? That sounds like, oh, yeah. You know what? Fun fact. He actually signed that letter. It wasn't an auto pen. He really did that signature on the pubic hair. Joe Biden could never. Joe Biden.
Give me a break.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
My bad.
Donald Trump's not happy. Not happy. I mean, why would he be? It's like, dude, he's so sick of this, and I understand. I do. I get it. I think we're all a little sick of it. But I think the pressure campaign has worked, and we're going to see some of that grand jury testimony today. So I do believe some of that grand jury stuff is already available in the public domain, so we're going to have to wait and see what they're actually going to release. But I'm very excited about it. When it comes to Donald Trump and his response to the Wall Street Journal, fiery, mostly peaceful, fiery. So the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch personally were warned directly. He does this whole thing in the third person also, which makes me think that there's a lot of revisions in here and a lot of cooks in the kitchen that were writing it. But I digress. The Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch personally were warned directly by President Donald J. Trump that the supposed letter they printed by President Trump to Epstein was a fake, and if they print it, they will be sued. Mr. Murdoch stated that he would take care of it. Obviously, did not have the power to do so. The editor of the Wall Street Journal, Emma Tucker, who was told directly by Caroline Leavitt and by President Trump that the letter was a fake, but Emma Tucker didn't want to hear that. Instead, they're going with a false, malicious, and defamatory story anyway. President Trump will be suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Mr. Murdoch shortly. The press has to learn to be truthful and not rely on sources that probably don't even exist. President Trump has already beaten George Stephanopoulos. I would have thrown in Slopodopoulos. George Stephanopoulos and ABC, 60 Minutes and CBS, and others, and looks forward to suing and holding accountable the once great Wall Street Journal. It truly has turned out to be a disgusting and filthy rag, and writing defamatory lies like this shows their desperation to remain relevant. If there was any truth at all on the Epstein hoax as it pertains to President Trump, this information would have been revealed by Comey, Brennan, Crooked Hillary, and other radical left lunatics years ago. It certainly wouldn't have sat waiting in a file for Trump to have won 3 elections. I love that. Cherry on top. This is yet another example of fake news. 100%. And the low-key fire of saying, won 3 elections. It's like, yeah, I love that. He gets me. This guy, he knows all the right things to say. Enigmas never age.
Don't mean to brag.
I'm something of an enigma myself. There are people out there today that are actually taking this birthday card seriously, and I feel sorry for them on many, many levels. Duped by the mainstream media once again. Trump this morning put out another Truth Social post. Not as long as the original, but just as fiery. He said, the Wall Street Journal printed a fake letter, supposedly to Epstein. These are not my words, not the way I talk. It was a scam I told Rupert Murdoch that it was a scam, that he shouldn't print this fake story, but he did, and now I'm going to sue his ass off. And that of his third-rate newspaper. Thank you for your attention to this matter, DJT. I love it. I'm here for it. So that's Donald Trump. Some people that are more in the middle also looking at this and calling bovine scatology. One of those individuals was Chris Cuomo. And Chris Cuomo, I mean, listen, he's been more fair. I don't think he's like a huge fan of Trump by any stretch of the imagination. But at least he's calling balls and strikes on this one. And he looked at the letter. He's like, are we really doing this? Have you guys learned nothing in the mainstream media?
I get that he's pissed off, okay? And he's not wrong. this Wall Street Journal piece is a hack job, okay? And he says he's suing Rupert Murdoch, who he, was his buddy. They have, Fox kind of made Trump, and he's suing the Journal. He's suing everybody. He says he didn't write the birthday letter that they're ascribing to him, to Epstein for his 50th birthday. I mean, it's so stupid, okay? The Epstein story is about abusing kids.
Yep.
Who didn't have the power or agency to do anything about it.
Yep.
That rich and powerful people may have known it was going on and they got away with it. That's the story,
True.
okay? It's not that Trump liked a scumbag, okay? Now, I get that in the media this is great because it's bad for Trump and he's going crazy and he's going to pump and move the story for the Wall Street Journal right now by saying it's fake and it's wrong. But it doesn't move the needle in the country.
Facts.
It's going to make you some money, Rupert. Great for you, just what you need. But this is why we can't get anywhere. The guy says, I didn't write the letter. The letter is meaningless. You put out the piece anyway, and there's no light on what really matters.
No, he's absolutely right. I love how he says it's not going to move the needle in the country. Truth. So it's going to make you some money. And I do wonder how much money it's going to make him and if it's going to offset the cost of the lawsuit that Donald Trump is going to levy against them. We'll find out. But it's going to make you some money. It's not moving the needle. No, it's not. And even if this letter, let's game plan it out. Even if this letter was real and authentic, well, it came before any convictions of Jeffrey Epstein. So what are we actually talking about? Even if you believe this letter is real and enigmas never age, well, spoiler alert, it holds no weight on anything at all. We got a lot more to talk about. Have you heard that somebody's pushing for amnesty? I've heard this. Not a fan. We'll talk about the Republican push for amnesty when we get back. Plus, immigration enforcement continues, and a lot of people very, very upset. We'll bring you all the headlines on the way. 9:35, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
To a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at United Structural Systems. You know them as USS. These guys are the best at keeping homes dry and stable, and we got more rain heading into the area this weekend. If you have waterproofing issues at your house, I mean, this is anxiety when you see this in the forecast, right? Because you know where that water's going. It's getting in the crawl space. It's getting in the basement. And sure, when the rain goes away, it might dry up, right? It'll get hot again and the water will dry up, but these small problems aren't going to stay small. And if you keep ignoring the waterproofing issue, it's going to lead to mold in that crawl space. It's going to lead to wood rot, which leads to foundation issues. Spoiler alert, the small problems aren't going to stay small. So talk to a company you can trust, a company that's not going to send a sales guy, a company that's going to send an expert. Talk to the guys that have been doing this for 30 years and have 30,000 satisfied customers to back them up. If you see the signs, don't wait. Call USS today, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, USSTN.com.
Are angels real or a figment of the imagination? Angel means messenger. Angel or angels are mentioned over 350 times in the Bible, and because all Scripture is God-breathed, we know that angels are real and were created to glorify and to serve God. When Joseph doubted how Mary became pregnant and that she was to give birth to Jesus, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream. Do not be afraid. The child within her has been conceived by the Holy Spirit. Angels bring God's messages to people. Protect God's people, offer encouragement, give guidance, carry out punishment, patrol the earth, and fight the forces of evil. But there are also bad angels. Satan is an angel of high rank and led many angels in a rebellion against God. Although angels are powerful, they are not to be worshipped. Learn more about good and bad angels by scanning the QR code.
9:39, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We're growing this community on YouTube like crazy. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat. I see you guys all the time, keeping the conversation going. If you want to join a red-pilled chat, it's always there during the Chris Hand Show and everybody's show on our YouTube page, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Just search for it. Hit like, hit subscribe. We're actually, how many are we away? 220 away.
Yeah.
From 10,000 subscribers, which is
so freaking close.
It's a really cool milestone, and I don't know if anybody understands the work behind the scenes that Mason has put into this YouTube channel. But just a quick moment to give Mason his flowers. The YouTube game has been extended, elevated substantially since you came on.
Well, shucks, man. I appreciate it.
No, but so if you don't want to hit like and subscribe to help me feed my kids, do it for Mason. Also,
I need it. I need all subscribes.
Also, very hungry.
I'm a very hungry man.
They don't pay him enough, but the likes and subscribes do help.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
They help tremendously.
And then our podcast tomorrow, Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris, is dropping. What time are we dropping that tomorrow? Do you know?
I'm dropping it bright and early at 6 a.m., so it'll be available all day for you.
And we go in on the controversy surrounding Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Dude, yeah. You guys had a great conversation about that for sure.
I had a spicy take about gay people.
Just a little bit.
It might get me in trouble. Dan said, no, it won't. And I said, all right, maybe.
We'll see.
So that's dropping tomorrow, 6 a.m. Is that what you said, 6 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris, episode 2. Hit like, hit subscribe. Help us get to 10,000 today, man. That would be awesome. Really do appreciate you guys helping us grow that digital footprint. It's massive.
And last thing, I was like, if you haven't seen the episode before, we're only 89 views away from hitting 1,000 views on that first podcast. So if you guys want to go check it out, if you haven't seen it yet, absolutely go check it out. It's a great first episode for sure.
It was the best. It was the best episode. It was really hard to start and set the bar that high.
It's a pretty good inaugural episode.
If I do say so myself.
Pretty good.
I do think we need to change the name of the podcast to Enigmas Never Age.
The implication is great.
Whew, that's going to be on my mind, like living in my head rent-free. Just that last line, Enigmas Never Age.
It's going to be living in your head rent-free and on your back for at least $200.
Oh, my gosh. It's the best tattoo I'm ever not going to get.
Please, I need this. You're going to walk in next Monday, and it's going to be branded on your back.
Oh, my gosh. I should get a fake one just to mess with, like, the wife.
That would be amazing.
Got a tattoo. Like, do they do henna tattoos anywhere around here? I get somebody,
for sure,
a fake tattoo.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
Enigmas never die.
Just come in.
3589. So what's the name of the podcast again? Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris.
Yes, sir.
And it's not just on YouTube, though. YouTube is the preferred method because we're bringing in a lot of video elements,
videos, pictures, memes.
If you're doing it, if you're listening while you're mowing the lawn, you'll still have a great time, and it's going to be available on Apple and Spotify as well. So Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris, myself and Dan Mandis. We're having a lot of fun, man. I like Dan a lot, so we're any extra opportunity we get to do a show, we're down, man.
Yeah, just to goof off and have a good time.
Yep, that's what it's all about. All right, so speaking of goofing off and having a good time, you know who's not? Illegal aliens.
Surprise, surprise.
They're goofing off. They're not having a good time though. There's a lot of violence against ICE agents, and we've been covering that ad nauseum. It was a 700% increase in violent assaults on ICE. Then it went up to 830% assault increase on ICE, and then we get this interview last night, Fox News. There's an ICE officer who is talking about the Democrat narrative that they're just driving around kidnapping random people, disappearing folks, as the Democrats like to say. And that's the narrative that is causing a ramp up in the violence. That's the rhetoric that's leading to ambushes at ICE detention facilities by Antifa. They're just disappearing people. They're just grabbing people off the streets. It's not the reality. And this ICE agent in an interview on Fox News says, we have a very targeted mission. We know exactly who we're looking for and exactly who we're going to pinch. So the narrative that we don't know who we're grabbing and we're disappearing people off the street, Bovine scatology.
So the suggestion is that the operations are just roving, driving around, rounding people up. What do you say to that, Andres?
I would say that's not accurate. We have our targets. We know who we're going to pick up, and we have our plan beforehand. We don't just go out there and look for anybody. We know who we're looking for.
What do you think about
We don't go out there and just pick up anybody. We know exactly who we're looking for. Yeah, because they're going after the most violent, the most dangerous, illegal aliens with just rampant criminal histories, gang members, terrorists, you name it. But they know who they're going after. They know exactly who they're going after. But the Democrats say, no, they're just disappearing people. And that rhetoric is leading the unhinged leftist lunatics down a path of destruction. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it every day, and somebody's going to lose their life over it. That ICE officer was shot in the neck by an Antifa member. Shot in the neck. By the grace of God, he survived. But he's just trying to make neighborhoods and communities safer. The left, they don't want to hear that. They want to treat these guys like Nazis and the Gestapo. And we're seeing that rhetoric lead to real-world actions. It was just yesterday, I saw a video, this guy, who's an American citizen, mind you, he sees ICE pulling an enforcement raid, right? And again, ICE knows exactly who they're going after. They have a target, and they've encountered their target. Well, this white liberal in California, Sacramento to be exact, sees this going down, and he decides to slash the tires on the ICE vehicle. Yep, slash the tires. Well, my friends, in a case of FAFO, I lead you to our current example. So this white liberal slashes the tires, and then he tries to run away from the ICE enforcement officers. And this is how it panned out for him.
This video, this was a guy who said he was a U.S. citizen fleeing from federal agents after they say he slashed the tires on one of their vehicles. You'll see him running away. He then gets taken to the ground, and he tangles with agents while he's on the ground. It appeared he kind of lunged at one of them, and you'll see the aftermath of that. Take a look at this picture right here. Those federal agents ended up macing that man in his face, took him into custody and took him away. His wife was yelling at agents the whole time, saying he's a U.S. citizen. The agent said, too bad, he slashed one of our tires. Yeah. And then take a look at these photos here. We do have photos of the vehicle that had the tire slashed. There was one puncture mark. It quickly deflated, and the agents had to drive out of the area on their rims.
It's ridiculous. This is the rhetoric from the left. Don't touch him. He's an American citizen. Oh. Well, then his tax dollars are going to his arrest because he just slashed our tires like an idiot. Again, FAFO. This guy got a face full of mace. Congratulations. That's the grand prize. Sometimes it could get a little worse. I think that it should have been a little bit worse, to be perfectly honest with you. What an idiot.
Absolute moron.
I'm going to fight the power. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see ICE agents arresting a child predator or a gang member or a rapist or a murderer. I'm going to show them what and for. I'm going to slash their tires. Idiots. They went in the wall, too. That's not good. It's not good. They drove away on their rims. But this is the rhetoric that we see. This is the rhetoric. This is what the rhetoric leads to. The insane rhetoric from the left leads to real-world actions. And today, it was slashing tires, right? But tomorrow, it's going to be more shots fired at ICE agents, just like we saw in Texas. Now, the FBI is seeking the identity of those Antifa members in Texas. They're also seeking the identity of the man that was shooting at ICE agents at that weed farm. Remember the weed farm? Backbone of America. They're going after farmers. No. We're raiding a weed farm. OG Kush is not the backbone of America, despite what the left wants to think. These are not farmers. They're marijuana growers. Like, it's different, right? They're not growing avocados. Nobody's picking grapes for wine. Okay, like that's not what's happening here. They're growing OG Kush. Now, at that weed farm in California, there was child molesters working there that were illegal aliens, and they were working next to children. Yes, there was forced labor going on at that weed farm in America. And as the raid unfolded, a lot of people lost their ever-loving mind over this. And one individual pulled out a firearm and let shots ring out at the ICE agents. Again, he had poor aim. He was shooting like he was in some sort of hip-hop video. I think he held the gun sideways and everything. It wasn't even, what was he doing? He was praying and spraying. That was pretty much the gist of it. But the FBI released a photo of that suspect in the Los Angeles OG Kush weed farm raid. And if you know this guy, they're asking you to call 1-800-FBI. Now, we do have a lot of California transplants, so if you've ever bumped into this individual in your country of origin, well, you could win $50,000 by reporting him to the FBI. Yeah. The FBI has released this photo in order to identify a suspected protester who brandished a pistol and fired towards agents conducting lawful activity in Camarillo on 7/10. A reward of up to $50K is offered for info leading to his ID, arrest, and conviction. Call 1-800-CALL-FBI, the agency wrote in an X post. Footage taken during the July 10th immigration raid at Glass House Farms, a state-licensed weed farm, shows a man shooting a pistol at federal authorities. He was part of the protest that broke out as ICE agents conducted the raid. They got 361 illegal aliens at that farm. It's the backbone of America, at the weed farm. And the illegal aliens had been convicted of crimes such as rape, child molestation, kidnapping, and others. And those rapists and child molesters and kidnappers were working alongside illegal alien kids who were forced into working there. Nice. This is what the left defends. And the rhetoric, while we're saving kids from having to work next to illegal alien child predators, rapists, and sex offenders, right? The left, the rhetoric makes their supporters throw bullets at ICE agents. It's ridiculous. Democrat politicians condemn the raid, some of them saying that those on the farm were picking our food. I mean, I guess, you could turn it into brownies or something, right? Some cookies, some sort of an edible, I guess. I don't know if I would consider that food. Would you consider it food?
Not entirely.
If you're hungry enough.
You can eat anything if you're hungry enough.
It's true. Governor Gavin Newsom lashed out at Trump administration, characterizing the raid as showing kids running from tear gas, as well as a child crying on the phone because their mother was just taken from the fields. Sorry, not going to be emotionally manipulated by that. Those kids that were running from the tear gas, they were being forced into labor on that weed farm. So, yeah, there's that as well. As we continue, there's been a big push for amnesty when it comes to some of these illegal aliens. And it's really because of the farmers, as we know, it's the backbone of America, these OG weed kush farms. We're going to talk about that when we get back, including the GOP rep that is helping make the push for amnesty mainstream. Why it's a bad idea and why we should not entertain it at all when we return. It's 9:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock Store, and I got to tell you why you need to hit up the Glock Store this weekend. It's going to become your favorite 2A superstore. It's already mine. It's going to be yours, too. Here's a few reasons why. Can I tell you? Let me give you 3 reasons, first and foremost. First, selection. Every Glock in stock, not just a meme. They have every model, every version, plus custom Glocks that are straight up works of art, engraved with lasers. They're beautiful. You're going to love them. Second, the people. The people that work there aren't just employees. They're full-blown Glock fanatics. They live and breathe this stuff. I've learned so much talking to the staff there, and they're so friendly, man. They'll answer any question that you have. They love answering the questions. If I'm just, milling about the showroom, every employee's like, hey, can I help you with something? Can I help you with something? They're great. They're great. Third, it's that customer service. I just kind of mentioned it. I kind of gave it away. But it actually feels like service. And if you get a custom part or a performance part for your Glock, there's always a gunsmith on duty that will install it for free while you wait. The Glock Store is minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. The list of things I gave you why you're going to love it, that's just scratching the surface. Check it out for yourself this weekend, and they're always open online, glockstore.com. 9:58, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's Chris Hand here. Mason Fleming producing. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So we got a GOP rep pushing for amnesty. Spoiler alert. Not a fan. GOP rep Marie Salazar calls for amnesty for illegal aliens who arrived in America by 2020. Let me give you the Cliff Notes version. This is her plan. It's stupid. Spoiler alert. I don't want to give away the ending. I think it's dumb. Here's the Cliff Notes version. If you came into the country before Biden was inaugurated, you get to stay. If you were under 18 when you came into the country, for whatever reason, you'll get a 4-year path to citizenship. So you could be a 17-and-a-half-year-old MS-13 member. Got it. If you were over 18, well, you'll get what is effectively permanent residency with no path to citizenship. And I don't know why anybody would be excited about this at all. I think she should lose her seat over even suggesting this. But this is what she says. Rep. Maria Salazar. This was her yesterday. Oh, if the computer loads. There it is.
Sir, the same God who saved you from death in Pennsylvania 1 year ago and who put you back in the Oval Office against all odds is the same God Almighty who millions and millions are begging to for some type of dignity, not amnesty. Sir, I believe that you could be for immigration what Lincoln was for slavery and Reagan was for communism.
How about no? How about no? I think it's the better route to go. We'll have more from Rep. Maria Salazar. It's not amnesty, she says. It's dignity. Missed me with the wordplay. It's 10 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Pleased with how long getting those transcripts could take.
What happens next could be a pretty lengthy process. This is all subject to that court approval. They'll have to go to the federal judge in the Southern District of New York and ask for that review because this grand jury testimony, of course, had been sealed. And they have to look at how this potentially could have an impact on the victims and how this impacts anybody that had testified and the process that played out behind closed doors.
Overnight, the House passed the $9 billion recessions package, clawing back billions for international aid and public broadcasting. ABC's Stephen Portnoy is in Washington with more on what it will mean for NPR and PBS stations.
Passage of this bill is a landmark achievement for Republicans who've been talking for decades about defunding public broadcasting. It's unclear exactly what the effects will be, as NPR and PBS stations have never experienced this kind of loss of federal dollars before. The networks themselves and some stations in larger markets might be able to get by better leveraging of private funding sources. But leaders in public media say $1 billion vacuum will be hard to fill. Layoffs in newsrooms and a dearth of new TV programming are widely expected.
The public health research group Kaiser Family Foundation says thanks to passage of the recent budget, people who are insured through the Affordable Care Act marketplace are likely to see their insurance premiums rise next year. Some who rely on tax credits to make insurance a lot more affordable could see increases as high as 75%. Church leaders visiting Gaza. Services for 3 people killed after the territory's only Catholic church was struck by an Israeli shell the day before. You're listening to ABC News.
It's 10:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeartRadio, TuneIn, the FM dial. I see your texts. If you listen on the FM, you don't have to deal with Sanjay Gupta. Just a heads up. You don't have to deal with that on YouTube either. You can watch us on Supertalk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Over on YouTube, we're about 200 subscribers away from 10,000. That's a pretty good feat. It's not where we want to be at the end of the day. You know, we want a lot more than that. But man, we got to celebrate the wins when the milestones come up. So if you haven't liked and subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so and help us cross that. It definitely helps. Like I know
for sure.
I know people are like, you're an influencer. No, the bigger the number, the more serious people take you.
And the more people that are being reached by actual good information instead of being the regurgitated, what do you want to call it, as main media right now?
Bovine scatology?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yep. All right, so I saw the preview for Happy Gilmore 2.
Did you?
Have you seen the preview for it?
I've seen some clips from it on the old TikTok.
Okay. Are you... Where do you land?
I'm kind of getting tired of these newer sequels from classic movies because I feel like it's a huge cash grab. But it does look interesting.
It looks good.
It looks
good. I'm in the same boat. I didn't want to like it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
I went in like wanting to hate it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I was like, let's see what this hot steaming garbage is.
I was like, the original was so good.
You can't beat it.
No.
But it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it makes me kind of excited.
It looks pretty good. Not gonna lie.
It'd be huge.
Did I tell you? So I do this all the time, and I'm terrible at this. But I'll half remember something from my childhood.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, that's a funny movie, and like, yeah, it's a little edgy, but like my 11-year-old girl, she's very smart.
Yeah.
Right. I've done this with movies a few times. I did it with Mel Gibson's The Patriot. By accident. So with Mel Gibson's The Patriot, I was like, oh man, it was like last year, it was like 4th of July. I was like, this is a great movie. It's America. I was like, let's watch it. And like, yeah, it's, there's some harsh scenes. I was like, whatever, but you'll be okay. And then we got like 30 seconds into the movie, and then that body's like flowing down the river. I was like, oh, forgot that. Sorry, turning it off.
Oh.
Well, I did the same thing with Happy Gilmore the other night.
Oh, no.
We made it to the intercom, and I was like, gotta go. I am so
Hard
sorry.
slam.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Maybe when you're older.
Yes.
Maybe when you're older.
Well, we'll try again another day. But the Happy Gilmore 2 looks good, man.
Dude, yeah, it looks really good, and I'm kind of doing what I do with every movie now, and I'm just like, maybe I'll wait till streaming. But it's almost tempting enough that I could pay $30 to go see it in theaters.
But it's most of the sequels are going to be worse than the original.
Oh, 100%.
And the same can be said with sequels about politics.
Oh, yeah.
We saw Ronald Reagan do Amnesty once.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awful. Okay? California, I don't know if you've noticed this, hasn't recovered. I don't know.
What?
I don't know if you've been paying attention. California's kind of a mess, and it has a lot to do with that amnesty bill. You can also point fingers at shutting down mental institutions and stuff like that, that Reagan did. But the amnesty bill in and of itself was a huge whiff by Reagan. And I like Reagan. I'm not knocking him too much, but like everybody's going to have bad moves. I don't like Operation Warp Speed, and I love Donald Trump. So, I mean, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. One guy was perfect. One. You know who I'm talking about. It was Jesus. It's not going to be Trump. It's not going to be Reagan. So sequels are always worse than the original. Why is the GOP then pushing for amnesty? Now, the rep, Maria Salazar, said, I'm not pushing for amnesty. I'm pushing for dignity. And I said, that's hot garbage.
President Trump, sir, the same God who saved you from death in Pennsylvania 1 year ago and who put you back in the Oval Office against all odds is the same God Almighty who millions and millions are begging to for some type of dignity, not amnesty. Sir, I believe that you could be for immigration what Lincoln was for slavery and Reagan was for communism. You are a businessman who understands our economy needs a reliable working force in areas where other Americans don't participate.
Oh, they're doing the jobs we don't want to do. Oh, come on. Come on. They're doing the jobs Americans don't want to do. Don't you understand that? You could be for immigration what Reagan was for communism and what Lincoln was for slavery. Oh, they ended those things. So, do you want Trump to end immigration? I mean, he's already locked down the border. I think you could make the argument that he is that for immigration already. But no. That's not good enough for Rep. Maria Salazar. She wants amnesty. She says it's dignity. But among the provisions in this bill, the Dignity Program, it would allow for illegal immigrants who arrived in the country before the end of 2020 to apply for a 7-year legal status in the U.S. that gives work authorization and protection from removal proceedings. Those accepted must pay $7,000 in restitution over the 7 years. And after the time is up in the program, they can apply for dignity status. Migrants can remain in this status as long as they want. It also creates a pathway to permanent residence for Dreamers or DACA recipients. Those who are brought to the U.S. are given a conditional permanent resident status for 10 years, during which they can work towards lawful permanent resident status through receiving a degree, completing at least 3 years of military service, or being employed for at least 4 years. Critics of the bill are saying that this amounts to amnesty. Rep. Maria Salazar is really trying to sell it.
You stopped Iran on its tracks. You stopped China from eating our lunch. You took the economic oxygen away from Maduro, and you signed the BBB the day that you said you were going to sign it. You have been called to do this, to fix this 40-year mess with just one signature, yours.
I don't think that giving all these people a pathway to citizenship is the fixing the mess we need it to be. 615-737-9986 if you disagree or agree. Donald Trump, and she does a good job. I mean, the fluffing beforehand was really a master class. And, you're stroking the ego. By all means, I get it. I still don't think he's going to fall for this. She keeps going, though.
Human dignity is one of the 7 pillars of American conservatism.
What about the dignity for all of the individuals who have been victims of crime because of these illegal aliens? No worries. No worries there. Got it.
For that reason, Mr. President, the eye of history is upon us. Some of the most shameful moments in our past as a country relates to how we have treated immigrants who are not criminals. And we are in one of those moments.
I mean, listen, by definition, you snuck into the country illegally, you are a criminal. You broke a law, right? Like, that's how it works. You're a criminal. If you're here illegally, you're a criminal. Whether you're someone's abuela or you're a member of the Sinaloa cartel, if you're in the country illegally, you are a criminal. You got to go home. You got to go home. I think that it is awful that this woman is pushing for amnesty. I think that she is woefully misguided. And I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around how the fact how she's a member of the GOP. What? Doesn't make any sense. Will Chamberlain said, having read through the bill, it's even worse than you would think. It's an amnesty bill for illegal aliens that would absolutely blow the door open on legal migration. Salazar should resign from Congress, and any Republican co-sponsors should think again. Tend to agree.
If we get this wrong, future generations will pay the price in shame. But if we get it right, the United States will continue to lead in liberty, and you will have been the commander-in-chief. It's in your hands, Mr. President. May the Lord guide you.
Oh, yeah, let's invoke the name of the Lord. Listen, a country needs borders. A country needs law and order. We can't do mass amnesty. What we can do is the greatest mass deportation effort in history, and that's underway, and we haven't hit full strength yet. said, if you get this wrong, future generations will pay for it in shame. Okay. What if her theory is wrong? What are the future generations paying for that then, huh? It's insane. Insane. She wants this country to be completely transformed and unrecognizable. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Carolyn Levitt was asked about this because many people are saying, Trump would be for this. Trump would be for some amnesty. And there's definitely a push behind the scenes from GOP donors and thought leaders and the like for a mass amnesty bill. We were talking about this last week, that there were rumblings behind the scenes for this, that it was coming. Carolyn Levitt was asked about it yesterday and the president's thoughts on it. Here is her answer.
Caroline, I have two questions for you. First on Congress. Congresswoman Salazar introduced legislation that would give some illegal immigrants in the country a path to citizenship. 10 Republicans signed on to what she's calling the Dignity Act. I'm curious what the White House's position is on the legislation and if the president would veto this bill if it made it to its desk.
From my understanding, the White House nor the president has actually read through this legislation. We've been focused on, of course, the One Big Beautiful Bill, which passed, which is another historic accomplishment of this president in record time. The Genius Act this week, the rescissions package, that's been the focus of the White House. But the president has made it very clear he will not support amnesty for illegal aliens in any way.
I mean, great answer. Honestly, perfect answer. We've been busy. Do you know what we've done this past week? We did X, we did Y, we did Z. So, yeah, we haven't read it yet, but I can assure you the president's not for amnesty. Imagine if that was the kind of response that we got when the Epstein stuff broke, right? Like, that's how you made that scandal go away if you're Donald Trump. You don't say, excuse me, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? You say, excuse me. The DOJ is working behind the scenes on just about everything, and I trust them. That's why I put them in that position. But we've been focused on the big, beautiful bill. We've been focused on getting NATO to pay for their fair share. We've been focused on peace deals around the world. We've been focused on X. We've been focused on Y. You get what I'm saying? But I can assure you the president is the most transparent in history. He's about law and order, and he's about accountability. If that had been the answer with the Epstein stuff, the conversation would have died immediately. Everybody would have been like, okay, cool, that makes sense. Similarly, how I listened to this answer from Carolyn Levitt, and she goes, the president hasn't read the bill. He's been pretty slammed, and we're not for amnesty. I go, okay, cool. Moving on. That's how you answer those questions. You wouldn't come to the podium and say, oh my gosh, are we still talking about illegal immigration? Are we still talking about that? That's not how you handle those things. But there's a GOP rep out there pushing for mass amnesty. Make no mistake about it. This has nothing to do with dignity, everything to do with amnesty. 615-737-9986. Let's go to Gary in Springfield. What's up, Gary? Yo, Gary, what's up, man?
Okay.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you now. What you got?
All right. I was the first lieutenant in Germany in the Army. It was 82, and I was taking my young family into Austria. I had military orders that said I had about 48 hours or more. I'd go into Austria on leave and then come back so I could cross the border in Austria for Germany. Well, I'm coming through, and they have what are called Grenzpolizei, border guards, border police.
Yep.
And they got machine guns, submachine guns, and everything. And I mean, it's a real checkpoint. And so I'm coming through, and I was driving a Volvo Turbo at that time, and I'm coming through, and I think they're waving me on. And as I'm passing them, and coming through, and then there's this last, barrier, all of a sudden they're running at me with the machine guns, and they've got the whistle blowing on. I stop, and I get out of the vehicle.
And you got the wife and kids in the car?
Yes.
Oh,
two little kids and the wife, and they are chewing me from upside down, and being fluent in German where I can drop the accent, I know what they're saying. Then they get a guy speaking English and saying, you know how close you are to go to jail for a long time? And I said, well, I'm an Army lieutenant, Oberleutnant, showed him my orders. And all they said, yeah, that's good, but You did not stop when we said so. And I didn't know they were telling me to stop. They were waving me over to look at my paperwork. I thought they were waving me to pass me through because I had tags on the back of my vehicle. Clearly demonstrated that I was U.S.
Yeah.
Telling you what, my family, they were like, the wife was like, oh my gosh. I said, welcome to Europe.
Yeah. I mean, listen, border security, every other country can do it, but for some reason we can't. I appreciate the call, Gary, and the story. Thanks, man. Let's go to Carl in the borough. Your thoughts on mass amnesty, Carl. What do you got?
Well, thank you for taking my call. I've been thinking about this thing, and you know what? It always, because I'm older now, I used to think I was a Democrat years ago. That means I was ignorant.
Yep.
And after learning, and I like that lady, Salazar, but I want to say this. It always comes back to white liberalism, and it's this way. Nobody's going to love you like I do. You can't make it without me. And it's always people of color they do that to. They belittle them right here in the South, you know. How can you be a Republican? Look, you don't need a daddy. You got an Uncle Sam that's going to help you. You can't make this on your own. It's an insult to their intelligence. And this is no different than that. I feel, and I just want to add this. Online, I look at all the news sites, the local ones, and every one of them that says this towards the Hispanic immigrants coming in. It's so hard. It's so hard. How can it's so hard. And I think about people coming that immigrate from China, Australia, South America, Europe. They're not complaining.
Right.
And nobody's complaining for them. It's just I'm just going to be real blunt. These are white women that I see commenting, and they are infatuated with this. I don't know why. But the thing is, the Hispanics that want to come up legally, they're saying, please get your empathy and sympathy away from me. I want to do it the right way.
Yep.
But they think that all these people are ignorant. Or they're demonstrating that they don't have respect for them as a full person and a full brain to make their own decisions.
Yep.
They're trying to reward criminals, and I'm just sick of it. And this makes America, I'm even more selfish with it. I don't want everybody to come here.
Yep.
It shouldn't be easy to get here, but that's all, man.
Well, it is, and I appreciate the call. It's always the biggest slap in the face to the illegal immigrants. You know what I mean? These mass amnesty pushes really are insulting to the people that did it the right way. One of the people that did the right way was Lily Tang Williams. She's been on the show before. She ran for Congress in New Hampshire. She was Lily Tang Williams. She's been on the show before. She ran for Congress in New Hampshire. She was unsuccessful, but she's a Chinese immigrant, and she's based. She's completely based. But she put out a video, and she said there's a bipartisan bill in Congress called the Dignity Act to give illegals a path to legal status. She says, how about the dignity of legal immigrants who have been waiting for years to be processed? Not fair and not justice. We have heard the same stories before, and she posts this video with the commentary.
This Chinese immigrant gave her Democrat opponent a 30-second lesson on immigration.
Well, I'm a legal immigrant. I came here right away. It took me 6.5 years to become citizen. My brother waited in China for 13 years, come here. It is a slap in the face to all the legal immigrants who are still waiting in line all over the world with American sponsors. Some of them have been waiting for over 10 years. What kind of message do we want to send to the world? If you follow the law, we're going to punish you. And if you come here illegally, we'll give you quick pass to citizenship. I support deport all the illegal aliens who committed crime immediately.
Based 1024 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking. I lost 70 pounds and my friend lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months.
Wow, what are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99.
$10:27. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, you get those at betterwater.com. A lot of stories to get to today. We were talking a little bit of mass deportations, but there's a few other stuff going on. Donald Trump having a bit of a health scare. And it's wild that it didn't take months and years of poking and prodding the administration to tell us about the president's medical issue, like it did with the last administration. They covered that up for years. What we see from this administration is just transparency. I'm here for it. There's been some photos going around of Donald Trump's legs swelling. Have you seen that? The left has been posting these a lot. Well, within days of those photos kind of circulating, the White House has commented on it and brought up his doctor's test results and diagnosis from the podium in the press briefing room.
I know that many in the media have been speculating about bruising on the president's hand and also swelling in the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits.
What a difference this is from the Biden administration. I mean, the Biden administration, we never got a straight answer, ever. This administration is volunteering this information up for the American people because, well, the American people deserve to know. It's a breath of fresh air.
An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function, no signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified. Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis here. So the president...
I mean, listen, the honesty and the transparency coming from the administration, the doctors saying, yeah, don't stress, he's good, nothing to worry about. But this is what we need from our leadership. We need that open lane of communication so that way we can understand exactly what's going on with the president, and it's not just all speculation. If you don't give us information, it leads to speculation. That's what happened with Joe Biden, and with Joe Biden, it led to a lot of gaslighting, too. He's sharp as a tack. Don't worry about it. Behind closed doors, he's great. Yeah, sure. He's calling out names of dead people and shaking hands with ghosts, but don't believe your eyes. He's great. Well, when you notice something with President Trump and you bring it up to this White House, like, hey, his hands are bruised, his ankles are a little swollen, they say, yeah, here's the diagnosis. Here's the tests we did. Here's what the doctors are saying. Don't stress about it. Well, I believe them because they volunteered this information up. So that's that. There's another story that came from the press briefing yesterday, and this one's wild. So there's a Catholic church in Gaza that got bombed by Israel, and apparently Trump was furious about this. And Carolyn Levitt addressed it from the press briefing room yesterday, saying that the president didn't have a positive reaction.
Holy Family Catholic Church was struck by an Israeli shell.
Yes.
3 people were killed, 10 wounded. What is the president's reaction to that church coming under fire?
It was not a positive reaction. He called Prime Minister Netanyahu this morning to address the strikes on that church in Gaza, and I understand the Prime Minister agreed to put out a statement. It was a mistake by the Israelis to hit that Catholic church. That's what the Prime Minister relayed to the President, and you should look at the Prime Minister's statement that will become.
It wasn't a happy conversation. People say Trump called Netanyahu furious over that strike. And you could understand why. This guy's trying to make peace in the Middle East. Whether it was a Catholic church or a hospital or a school, it doesn't matter. This is a place for civilians. You can't be doing that kind of stuff, man. Trump called him furious. The Israeli prime minister did put out a statement saying Israel deeply regrets that a stray ammunition hit Gaza's Holy Family Church. Every innocent life is a lost tragedy. We share the grief of the families and the faithful. We are grateful to Pope Leo for his words of comfort. Israel is investigating the incident and remains committed to protecting civilians and holy sites. We'll bring you updates on that should they become available. It's 10:33. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Love the guys at Busy Bee, and you will too, especially because they're going to give you some great peace of mind while you're on vacation. You don't want a plumbing disaster to be the first thing you see when you get home. That is not a welcoming sight. Right now, Busy Bee is going to take that stress out of it. They're offering a smart Wi-Fi water shutoff valve installed by the expert techs at Busy Bee for just $12.49 this July only. That is serious peace of mind at a great price. Maybe you need a new HVAC system. These are the guys to call. If you buy a new HVAC system, you're going to get a free air duct fogging and UV light home treatment because clean air matters. You'll also, if you got the right credit, get 0% financing and for 18 months and payments as low as $100 a month on those HVAC replacements. Maybe you just need clean air. Buy a middle-tier air duct cleaning. They'll upgrade you to the deluxe package for free. That's Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. Online at busybeehvac.com.
Weather can change in an instant, and you need to be prepared for any outcome. That's why Generator Supercenter of Nashville will help keep your family safe and connected. We make buying a backup generator simple and easy, with financing options available, free in-home estimate, turnkey installations, no worry warranty, and most importantly, the monitoring and service of your fully installed generator. Come see us at our location in Nashville or visit us online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
$10:38, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV is up and live. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. That's a new one, 99.7 WTN on Rumble. Hit like. And YouTube. YouTube, we're inching closer and closer to 10,000 subscribers. Which, I mean, you see some of the pages, and it's like 10,000. That's not much, and I know, but it's a start, man. And everybody with a huge following and millions of subscribers, at one point, were very excited about 10,000, and we are very excited about hitting 10,000. So if you haven't liked and subscribed to our YouTube page, please do. We appreciate it. That digital footprint definitely helps us get stuff done. It greases the wheels here at Super Talk. And if you're looking for more content, tomorrow morning, myself and Dan Mandis, well, our latest episode of Mostly Peaceful with Dan and Chris will be dropping. And we had a spirited discussion about Chip and Joanna Gaines.
What a conversation.
I don't want to give it all away. But
they got to earn that.
What they did to their brand in the matter of moments is just insane. Absolutely insane. And this is coming from a guy who, listen, I went all in. I didn't go all in, but, happy wife, happy life, right? So my wife loved the Fixer Upper show, and it's like, oh, birthday rolls around. Yeah, I'll get you that Joanna Gaines cookbook. Oh, anniversary, Christmas. Yeah, we'll get you that design book. Like, absolutely. Why not? But they built this fan base proclaiming to be Christians. And some of their latest moves go directly against that. And me and Dan dive in and we talk all about that. Plus, we go through the memes of the week and Memology 101. Or we're having a debate what we call that segment, Memology 101 or All Eyes on Meme.
I like what do you meme?
What do you meme?
Yeah.
That wasn't one of the options.
It wasn't, but I like it. I'm excited for it. It's cool. I thought it was a fun segment, and I'm interested to see what everybody else says about
Whatever.
it.
You can't throw in a third option for the name.
I mean, I can. I have a microphone.
That's true.
You allowed this.
That's true. Mason produces the podcast, by the way. Mason's been doing a fantastic job. If you don't want to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to help me feed my kids, well, that's really low. But please do it because it also helps feed Mason. And he's been putting a lot of work in behind the scenes.
Man.
He's been putting a ton of work in behind the scenes on that YouTube channel.
I got one big call out for the last episode.
What'd you do?
You guys got us to 100 likes on our first podcast episode.
Let's go.
That's huge.
Let's go. So, yeah, Mason puts a lot of hard work in behind the scenes on that YouTube channel. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, do it for Mason or do it for the kids. Do it for the kids.
Do it for the kids. Come on.
Do it for the kids. Speaking of the kids, you know what we did for the kids?
What do we do?
We defunded PBS.
Let's go.
I mean, listen, is there any examples of PBS, I don't know, having left-wing ideology forced down the throats of America's children? Did you ever see any examples of that?
Everyone is always welcome on Sesame Street. This month and every month, we want to uplift and celebrate our LGBTQIA+ family, friends, and communities.
Yeah, that's right, Miss Ariana. From our Sesame Street family to yours, happy Pride!
I prefer the anti-Semitic version that drops F-bombs on Twitter. What?
I think they're both negatives, Chris. Let's look at this in the right way.
I'm just saying, if I had to choose one. No, I'm kidding, obviously. I'm kidding. Chill.
You choose the Nazis over the colors. Hold on now.
Chill. I'm just joking. But PBS, NPR, they have been defunded. And here's a fun thing. Like $9 billion in rescission cuts, that's great, okay? This is cool. A lot of people are like, man, that's not enough. And I would just point out to what the White House is saying. We had Russ Vought, the guy who's in charge of the OMB, right? That's the Office of Management and Budget. He was on Fox Business, and my boy Russ, old Rusty, he said, chill. I know it's not that much. I know. People are very disappointed with all the Doge cuts, but he said what this really was it was small intentionally. This rescission package was small by design. And he says it's because we want to get this muscle memory into Congress. He said, we're going to send more rescission packages soon. This is Russ Vought.
Definitely open to sending up additional rescissions packages. We wanted to see how this first package would go. It was intentionally small to make sure we could get the muscle memory going again, and now the Senate has proved that they were able to pass that critical juncture, and we expect a good vote in the House either tonight or tomorrow. And we're very open to sending up additional rescissions package. The number you referenced, though, needs to be read in conjunction both this fiscal year and next with the $163 billion of cuts that we sent up as part of our budget in the non-defense area to make eliminations, cuts, reforms to woke and weaponized bureaucracy. We'll be fighting for those cuts during the appropriations process. But yes, we are open to sending up additional rescissions. I think it's likely, and I think it's likely to come soon. Definitely open to.
So more rescission packages on the way, likely to come soon. This is a big deal. This is an absolute big deal. I'm a huge fan, and you can imagine that this upsets the left. Oh, the left. They're very upset. Brian Stelter, you may know him from his recurring role in Toy Story as Mr. Potato Head, but he also he does some work with CNN, and he was very, very angry and horrified to break the news that NPR and PBS are being defunded.
Happening now.
No, this is the end of a publicly funded media era. This dates back to the days of black and white television. You know, back in the 60s, Congress saw a value for PBS and NPR, but no more. As a result of this rescission, radio and TV stations will have to lay off staffers and cut back on programming. Some smaller stations will suffer more than bigger stations, right? Popular shows like Daniel Tiger's...
Yeah, but popular shows like Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, they're fine. For the record, Season 1 of Daniel Tiger, pretty good. Pretty good. Season 2, it's okay. Season 3, man, it starts to get woke. And I can't watch kids shows. I'm insane. I'll be honest with you. I'm insane. And Daniel Tiger really lost me on the vaccine episode. I'll just be perfectly honest with you. But Daniel Tiger's not going to be touched. Oh, but the smaller stations are going to be hurt. It's like, dude, this is America in 2025. This is happening across the board. If you can't monetize your programming, well, then the taxpayer shouldn't subsidize it. Plain and simple. There is going to be programming that people will tune in to PBS and NPR for, I'm sure. I don't know why, but I'm sure. But now you're going to have to make money the capitalist way. You're going to have ads, and you're going to have ratings. So there's that. The head of NPR, she said she couldn't. She said that she's so shocked by this, and that people always tell her that there's examples of left-wing bias at PBS, but that nobody can ever point to one specifically and say why.
To yours, happy Pride!
Nobody knows why. Nobody knows. She literally said this on CNN. This is I think it was the CEO of NPR. She said nobody can point to specific examples. Okay, this is her yesterday on CBS. Nobody can point to examples of left-wing bias.
I asked them for examples. People often struggle to come up with examples of what really they're talking about.
That's how it started. This is how it's going. Senator John Kennedy got a hold of that clip, and he said, "Oh, it's hard to find examples. Well, let me assist you then."
Here's another one. This came from Louisiana Public Broadcasting. Becoming Papa, father's key to gender justice. I can tell you that's every mom and dad in Louisiana, when they lie down to sleep at night, and they can't. They're lying there worried about gender justice. Not.
Can we bring that back? Can we bring back the not?
I'm here for it.
I think we need to bring that back. Every parent, when they lay down in Louisiana, they're thinking about gender justice.
They're lying there worried about gender justice. Not.
Nobody can come up with examples of left-wing bias on PBS. John Kennedy says that's a lie.
I mean, the article, the title of the article suggests what you ought to believe. That's not fair or balanced. Here's another one. Transgender athletes seek protections to play sport.
Yeah, that's that. There's no left-wing bias there when we're talking about transgender athletes seeking protection. No, of course. He says it's even worse. PBS pushed so-called gender-affirming care on our youth.
Here are a couple that you saw on that you saw on television, PBS, paid for with your tax dollars. First headline, talking to young children about race and racism. Another headline, how America's history of racism connects to divisions today. Another headline from PBS, the hidden racism of young white Americans.
Oh, yeah. No left-wing bias.
Your tax dollars. Another headline, AP fact check. Trump seeds race animus with COVID falsehood. Another headline, Biden trumpets economic gains but struggles to get credit.
No left-wing bias there.
Another headline from PBS, the other Olympians transgender athletes in the Nazi area.
We could do this all day. Let's just be perfectly honest. There's no examples, none, of left-wing bias at PBS and NPR. That's the narrative that they're sticking to on the left. Best of luck. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. But there's a lot of huge fails. Donald Trump commented on the Doge cuts, and he said the House approves $9 billion cuts, rescission package, including atrocious NPR and public broadcasting, where billions of dollars a year were wasted. Republicans have tried doing this for 40 years and failed, but no more. This is big. It is. And it's going to be the first of many. Again, according to Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought, he said that we intentionally made this rescissions package small to get that muscle memory in there for members of Congress, and that they will be introducing more Doge-inspired rescission packages soon. I'm here for it. I'm excited. Thank you for removing my tax dollars from PBS and NPR. It's a huge win.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which Elmo do you like better? Should we do a poll? Do you like extreme left Elmo or extreme right Elmo? It's a spicy one.
It's towing the line a little bit.
It's a spicy one. 1051 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Coming up, we'll fill you in on the latest move by the Justice Department in the Epstein case. The Homeland Security Secretary in Nashville this morning. We'll have that and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Got some breaking news out of Los Angeles. Jay Harper's on the way with the news. Thank you for being here, Jay. I know everybody's very excited to have you instead of ABC.
Okay.
Joan was very lazy this morning.
Man, I heard.
I don't know what she was doing.
Poor woman.
The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I'm Chris Hand. All right, breaking news out of L.A. There was an explosion at the L.A. County Sheriff Training Facility that has left 3 deputies dead. This is pretty wild, and I mean, I don't know. My first thoughts go to the rhetoric of the left and what's been going on, shots being fired at ICE agents, ambushes at ICE detention facilities. And so, I don't know, man. That's where my head goes first. I mean, clearly I'm speculating, but I think that's what we all do in a situation like this. This is how local ABC affiliate in Los Angeles reported on it moments ago.
And it is rendered safe. Most of those trailers have the robots, the Andros automatic robots that are remotely controlled. So what happened? Once again, we don't want to speculate, but it was powerful enough, as Scott said, to blow out several vehicle windows and kill possibly up to 3 personnel.
Bruce Thomas giving us a bit of a perspective.
So 3 dead as of right now. This is an insane story. Just breaking moments ago, 3 people are dead after an explosion at a Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department training facility in East LA. The cause of the deadly explosion, or if that's the cause, is not yet known. Fox News reported that this was likely some sort of accident. The training facility is one that does bomb squad training and other kinds of dangerous operations. So this could very well just be an accident. This is how Fox News was reporting it moments ago.
Not confirmed at this point, though, but in the early going, it appears to be, Harris, that this was some sort of accident, possibly involving some sort of training. And I should point out that at this particular LA Sheriff's facility, they do have bomb squad training facilities there. They have SWAT teams that also train there. That is the way we are being led in our reporting right now, but we are still obviously just less than an hour since this explosion happened in the very early going here. But the tragic news that is being confirmed to us, Harris, is that 3 people are dead at this LA Sheriff's Department facility.
So, I mean, heartbreaking. Prayers going out to the victims and the families. I mean, that's not what you want to hear. I do have a question for the law enforcement community. Are you guys training with real bombs? Is that normal? I mean, I'm truly, I don't know. And if we got any sheriffs listening, state police, bomb squad guys, military, are you training with live bombs when you're doing that kind of stuff? Seems like a bad idea, right? If you were, or is that needed? I don't know. If you have some insight that I don't have, I would love for you to weigh in on it. 615-737-9986. It's 11 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is 11 a.m., and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. And as Chris has been alluding to here with this explosion, apparent explosion at a sheriff's department training facility in the Monterey Park area of Los Angeles, he and we here in the news center will stay on top of that. I mean, this information just coming out. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Justice Department will request grand jury transcriptions tied to the Jeffrey Epstein federal investigations. President Trump is calling on Bondi to produce relevant testimony related to the case as long as the court approves. ABC's Karen Travers, she takes us from there.
What happens next could be a pretty lengthy process. This is all subject to that court approval. They'll have to go to the federal judge in the Southern District of New York and ask for that review because this grand jury testimony, of course, had been sealed. And they have to look at how this potentially could have an impact on the victims and how this impacts anybody that had testified and the process that played out behind closed doors.
Back here in Nashville, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem addressed the progress made by Immigration and Customs Enforcement operations in Nashville this morning. The secretary provided details of what the department considers the worst of the worst people arrested during recent ICE operations. Her opening statement detailed several of the major criminal arrests by ICE, including members of the Tren de Aragua organization, sex traffickers, rapists. Noem then criticized Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell and local elected officials who have spoken out in support of the illegal immigrants in the metro Nashville area. She called on the mayor to support ICE agents in enforcing the law and detaining people who are breaking the law. The mayor has repeatedly explained that he's being careful not to violate Tennessee's sanctuary city laws and is not concerned about the DHS investigation into his actions. A judge in California is to decide whether lawsuits filed against gaming giants Meta and Activision by families of the victim of a Texas school shooting. He's determining whether they can proceed with their suit. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
On May 24, 2022, a gunman walked into Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, shot and killed 21 people. Families of the victims say the 18-year-old shooter got his firearms training.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Playing Call of Duty using a virtual version of the gun he actually used. They've filed suit against the maker of that video game. A judge in Los Angeles is to decide whether that lawsuit can move forward.
That is the latest news. Weather forecast for your weekend is on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
11:06, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I appreciate you guys weighing in on the text line at 615-737-9986 and the phone lines, talking about this this explosion that happened in Texas. Los Angeles, which is, I'll be honest with you, my mind immediately goes to the rhetoric of the left and the violence of the left, what we've seen at ICE detention facilities, what we're seeing in California when they raided that weed farm. There was an individual that took out the firearm and fired at ICE agents. So that's where my mind immediately goes. It just, and it's like I'm hardwired that way, and it's just what happens. It does seem like they're reporting that this was a total accident, which leads me to other questions, and I got a couple people waiting on the line to weigh in, but I want to play you how Fox News laid this down moments ago. You want to give me a little audio there, fella? Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Some critical information we're being sort of led towards here, not confirmed at this point, though. But in the early going, it appears to be, Harris, that this was some sort of accident, possibly involving some sort of training. And I should point out that at this particular LA Sheriff's facility, they do have bomb squad training facilities there. They have SWAT teams that also train there. That is the way we are being led in our reporting right now.
So they're saying it's a training facility, but I do have questions, and these questions are just coming from a place of like, I don't know. I have no idea. Law enforcement experts and guys that have gone through this. Are you training with live rounds? Adam in Carthage has a bit of insight on this. What's up, Adam?
Hey, man. Well, first of all, let me make sure that I put this out there. I'm by no means an expert.
Okay.
But I've got 25 years experience in law enforcement, security, all that. But I just want to make sure everybody understands I don't consider myself an expert. However, when I hear training facility, I don't know much about the bomb side of it, the bomb disposal side of it. However, when they mention SWAT training, SWAT does utilize explosives, whether it be for door breaching purposes, distractionary devices such as flashbangs, stuff like that.
But would an explosion, if you're training with live explosions for door breaching, I couldn't imagine that would be a large enough explosion that would kill 3 people and blow the glass out of windows on vehicles in the parking lot, right?
Well, no, and I would agree with that, especially if everybody's doing what they're supposed to do in a training scenario, safety, However, where my theory comes in, my brain goes to the same thing your brain goes to, where I'm like, oh, who got in there and sabotaged it and caused damage? However, where these explosives are stored, like a flashbang or a door breach, something like that, where they're stored in this training facility, if there's like a crate or something, if something happened to that crate and instead of just one flashbang going off, you had 20 go off, that's going to cause some damage. And depending on how close people are standing around to that area, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I'm picking up what you're putting down for sure, man. And I appreciate you calling in and laying that down. Thanks, Adam. 615-737-9986. If you have any expertise, I do got a text here from 3618. He said, yes, they do train, and I know from experience, having been in the Marine Corps and working with law enforcement in Los Angeles County, San Diego, and Pendleton, yes, you practice like you play. You practice with real bombs. It was crazy, man. That's great. That sounds dangerous. Do you feel like that sounds dangerous, a teaching job? You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think is more dangerous? Being a bomb squad instructor with live bombs or high school in Memphis? What? Just asking.
I'm just saying, grab the real grenade instead of the practice grenade and be like, this is how this works. And then pull it out and it's like,
we learned something.
And that's in Memphis. And then the actual instructor.
I'm just asking questions. The big story of the day, obviously, is the birthday card from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. Everybody's talking about it. This is just, who wouldn't write a birthday card like this for their friends? I wrote something similar to Mason on his birthday. You still have it, don't you?
It's pinned to my wall in my room.
I know it is. I know it is.
It's framed in everything.
This is the dumbest story that I've ever seen.
So dumb.
And it does give you a new lens to look at things when Trump has been just irate calling the Jeffrey Epstein stuff a hoax. They were, the Wall Street Journal, talking to the administration about the story that they were going to publish for a couple days. The administration said that this was bovine scatology with a capital B and a capital S. And they said, don't post it. You post this story, we're going to sue you. And that's the road that they went down. That's the road we're at now. This drawing, it was a typed letter. You put the artist rendering up on the screen for me, will you, Mason?
I'm nervous about doing that again. Oh yeah, there it is.
There it is. That's the artist rendering that we have, because they wouldn't release the actual letter. We don't even know if it exists. But the Wall Street Journal is pushing a fake Trump birthday card. Yes, a birthday card that he sent to Epstein, that he typed up on a typewriter, and then hand drew an outline of a woman, and then he signed his name. This is how the Wall Street Journal reports it. He signed his name with that big black pen, but he did it in the region to make it look like pubic hair.
Jeez.
Their words, not mine. No, I didn't do it. I didn't make this story up. Somebody did. Somebody made it up. I did not. Do you want to read the letter?
I'd prefer you do it.
All right.
Just out of preference.
I got it. It says, this is from the Wall Street Journal, it isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. It's probably some intern at the Wall Street Journal. It isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the naked woman was a typewritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. You tell me if this sounds like Donald Trump to you. It starts with a voiceover. Voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, this is the line. This is the line it transcends everything. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? It's my next tattoo, by the way. Enigmas never age.
Tramp stamp?
It's going to be lower back. It's going to be on the lower back. Enigmas never age.
So good.
To which Jeffrey replies, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Trump, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. What the hell is going on in this country?
We had a caller that called in earlier that he said the way the pacing flows, it almost sounded like a not a sorority, a guy's version of a sorority.
Fraternity.
Yeah, like a fraternity house is like coded like language to talk about like, oh yeah, you're a part of the house kind of thing. It almost sounds like that, but like someone who's heard about that but not actually ever been a part of a fraternity.
So I looked at it, and the thing that I noticed is that it looks like it was written with ChatGPT. It has like the weird ChatGPT extended hyphen in there.
Oh, really?
After happy birthday. Here, I'll put it on the screen. I'm sorry, I know everybody loves the artist rendering. But if you look after happy birthday, it has that extra long hyphen. And that's a telltale sign of ChatGPT. And I know this because every time it pops up when I'm doing ChatGPT, I say, I'll put in a prompt. I'll say, remove those hyphens so nobody knows this is ChatGPT. It works every time. It works every time. You get rid of those. Get rid of those. Everyone's calling BS on this. Even Elon Musk, who has had problems with Donald Trump, is calling BS on this. Elon posting on Twitter, that doesn't even sound like Donald Trump, to be honest. TBH doesn't sound like him at all. No, it does not.
Yeah, this sounds like the worst fan fiction that a high schooler could write.
Yeah, like it sounds like what we used to see with the Twilight Saga.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the fanfic, or like One Direction fanfic. That's what it is. JD Vance responded. JD Vance has really been quiet and like behind the scenes as all this Epstein stuff unfolds. I think that's by design. But he couldn't hold back on the Wall Street Journal story. And J.D. Vance posting to X said, forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter bull. The Wall Street Journal should be ashamed for publishing it. Where is this letter? Would you be shocked to learn that they never showed it to us before publishing it? Does anyone honestly believe that this sounds like Donald Trump? He continues, doesn't it violate some rule of journalistic ethics to publish a letter like this without showing it to the victim of this hit piece? Will the people who have bought into every hoax against President Trump show an ounce of skepticism before buying into this bizarre story? Well, couple notes on that last post. There are no more journalistic ethics in this country. Those have been dead for a very long time. Sorry, like it sucks, but that's the reality of the situation. To his other point, will the people who have bought into every hoax against President Trump show an ounce of skepticism before buying into this bizarre story? That's a no. If you're looking at lefty Twitter, Blue Sky, Reddit, they're believing this hook, line, and sinker today, and they're taking a victory lap on it, and it just seems so dumb. But that's the modern day left. We've also learned as of last night that we're going to get some more information on Epstein today. Bondi and Trump are focusing on unsealing grand jury testimony. Donald Trump posting to Truth Social last night, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetuated by the Democrats should end right now. To which Pam Bondi posted on X, President Trump, we're ready to move to the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. Good. I have not seen the grand jury transcripts. Have you seen the grand jury transcripts anywhere yet? Is anybody? We're waiting. We're waiting to see what comes of that. I do know that Pam Bondi currently is focused on that explosion in Los Angeles. So they've been kind of pulled in a couple different directions today. She said in relation to the explosion in Los Angeles moments ago, about 30 minutes ago on X, I just spoke to U.S. Attorney S.A. Lee about what appears to be a horrific incident that killed at least 3 at a law enforcement training facility in Los Angeles. Our federal agents are at the scene, and we are working to learn more. Please pray for the families of the sheriff's deputies killed. Yep, I will absolutely do that. She said, I spoke to L.A. County Sheriff Luna, and we have FBI and ATF agents on the ground to support. Please pray for the entire Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. So I will say this. If it was some sort of accident, as they were being led to believe, it doesn't seem like Pam Bondi is ready to confirm that at the LA County Sheriff's Training Facility. Am I reading into that wrong? It doesn't seem like she's willing to confirm that it's an accident. And now we have FBI and ATF on the ground. Sounds like an investigation to me. They said they're working to learn more, and as more information becomes available on the explosion, we will update you. As more information becomes available on Epstein and the grand jury testimony that Pam Bondi said she is moving to unseal today, we'll keep you updated. These are both big stories which are rapidly evolving, and we'll have the latest updates for you all day long here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Again, as you move through your day, definitely say a prayer for those officers and their families that were involved in that explosion. Just an awful scene. An awful scene in Los Angeles. Not one you want to see, but I hope it was an accident, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, I do. I hope it was an accident, because if it wasn't, the implications on the other side are far darker and would show just an excessive escalation in what we're seeing against law enforcement officers in California and with the radical elements of the left. So I pray that this was an accident, pray for the families, but Pam Bondi not willing to confirm it's an accident yet. FBI, ATF on the ground in Los Angeles investigating this, and we'll keep you updated right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Coming up, we will update you on what we have on this explosion at the L.A. Sheriff's Department training facility in East Los Angeles. That and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Jay Harper. It is 11:24 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. Why on earth would you need those?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
I guess that's a good reason. BetterWater.com if you need a water filter. BetterWater.com. We got a lot to cover here. We were talking about the L.A. explosion. We're talking about the Epstein list. And if I recall correctly, was the L.A. sheriff, weren't they just announced that they were going to be working with ICE? Is that just me? Did I misread that somewhere? I think there was a story. The California sheriffs are handing. So this is 1 day ago. Okay. And I'm just speculating what happened in Los Angeles, but I understand the rhetoric of the left. Pam Bondi says FBI and ATF is on the ground, and she's not confirming that it was an accident, though it is being reported that they very well could be an accident. So I definitely want to lay that out there. But this is something interesting. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, this is from 2 days ago, okay, from the Los Angeles Times 2 days ago. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has resumed transferring jail inmates to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement for the first time in years via a legal avenue not barred by local sanctuary policies that aim to shield people from deportation. So this hasn't happened in years, and now we see at an L.A. Sheriff's County training facility an explosion with 3 dead. Again, I am just speculating, and I have no idea for sure what the reason for the explosion may have been, but I see dots and I want to connect them, right? Like, that's all we are. We're professional dot connectors. That's it. 8 inmates were released to ICE in May and a dozen more in June, according to the Sheriff's Department records reviewed by the Times. 11 are Mexican, 6 are Guatemalan, and 1 each is from Colombia, El Salvador, Honduras. Their ages range from 19 to 63 years old. The transfers to ICE are the first by the Sheriff's Department since early 2020, when records show 43 people were sent to federal immigration custody from sheriff stations, jails, and courts. So this is in the LA Times 2 days ago, that the LA County Sheriff's is now, again, transferring inmates to ICE. 2 days passes, and we have a convenient explosion at an LA County Sheriff's training facility. Am I wearing a tinfoil hat? Am I wearing a tinfoil hat? You tell me. 615-737-9986. I just find it very convenient that this happened and was reported 2 days ago. And now we're seeing this. And we understand the rhetoric of the left. We understand the violence of the left. The left always, they want to point the violence finger and say, oh, it's just MAGA that does that. And it's like, okay, as you're shooting at ICE agents and ambushing them. Got it. It's interesting, man. It's interesting. So they hadn't been doing it since 2020. They just started back up again. It's been reported. Boom, there's an explosion at the LA County Sheriff's training facility. Seems a little fishy. Seems like it doesn't pass the smell test. Pam Bondi's on the Pam Bondi says FBI and ATF is on the ground. Pam Bondi not confirming that it's an accident. I think that there's going to be more to this story than what meets the eye originally. That being said, we did have experts texting in. We had some guys call in saying, no, these guys do train with live ammunition. They train with real bombs. So there's very well the possibility that this was an accident. But until it's been confirmed by the DOJ that this was an accident, and until it's been confirmed by the FBI that it was an accident, I think we have to leave all options open, given the nature of the left currently and where they're at with these Nazis and Gestapo at ICE, right? I think that that's a fair assumption that we, well, maybe not an assumption, but just it's not something that we should discount right away, that could be a possibility. It's well within the realm of possibilities. Still, 3 deputies killed. Pray for the families. Pray for those deputies. It is a horrific story out of L.A., whether it was an accident or whether it was an intentional incident. Horrific nonetheless. At least 3 dead and a possible explosion at the L.A. Sheriff's Department facility. Again, this is how Fox News was reporting it moments ago. This is it's a developing story, but we want to bring you the latest as best we can. This is moments ago. You want to give me some audio, Mason, real quick?
And now Fox News is learning that at least 3 people have died after a possible explosion at a Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department facility. Jonathan Hunt is on this story. And Jonathan, I hold my breath here. Law enforcement. What is this? What happened?
I mean, even Fox News is looking at this going, okay, it's L.A. Was this intentional? Everybody's mind goes there. And it's because of the violent nature of the radical elements of the left. It's 11:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is 11:30, and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll get you that weekend weather forecast here shortly.
Fire is also notified. Tag 50, 240 David did report an explosion with 3 down. Fire is also notified.
That a 911 call from, that's courtesy of Broadcastify, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department confirming that multiple deputies are dead after an explosion this morning at the agency's training facility in East L.A. And we do have Jonathan Hunt now with more from Fox News.
What we are learning is that large L.A. Sheriff's facility east of downtown Los Angeles, there was some sort of explosion just about an hour or so ago. We understand that 3 people have been killed in that explosion. Now, some critical information we're being sort of led towards here, not confirmed at this point, though, but in the early going, it appears to be that this was some sort of accident, possibly involving some sort of training. And I should point out that at this particular LA Sheriff's facility, they do have bomb squad training facilities there. They have SWAT teams that also train there.
The explosion happened at about 9:25 Nashville time this morning at the Biz Kailou's Training Center in East L.A. Again, this developing story, all kinds of information coming fast and furious, and we'll try to relay it to you as soon as we have it. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Justice Department will request grand jury transcripts tied to the Jeffrey Epstein federal investigations. President Trump is calling on Bondi to produce relevant testimony related to the case. As long as the court approves, it may take a long time to release the transcripts, and that may not sit well with those Trump supporters that are demanding full transparency right now. Here's ABC's Karen Travers.
If it takes a while for it to come out, that means this firestorm is unlikely to die down for the president and his administration because they are facing pressure to release the files. That is what the Justice Department and the FBI have said they're not going to release. So no matter what does come out, it still might not be enough to satisfy the people who are clamoring for more and are very frustrated with the president and how they've been handling the release of this information and the investigation.
That is the latest news. Your weekend weather is next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
It's 11:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, betterwater.com for your water filtration system. We got a lot to talk about. Mike texted in. I've been speculating. Speculating. He said, why can't you just wait until the investigation is complete and leave your speculation out? What good can come from it? I don't know, man. We just talk about things. What do you want me to do? My speculation isn't off, by the way. The LA County sheriffs just start transferring inmates to ICE, and then we see an explosion at an LA County sheriff's facility. Seems a little fishy. I don't know. Pam Bondi saying that the ATF and the FBI is now on the ground investigating this. Pam Bondi not confirming it was an accident. You'd feel like it would be, if it was an accident, it would be confirmed relatively quickly, would it not? This explosion in Los Angeles? I would think so. I would think that it would be confirmed an accident very quickly. And I think the longer that we go without confirmation that it was an accident, well, the more chances we have of something nefarious. Is that just me, right? Am I off? Mason, am I off?
I don't think you're off.
Coincidence? I think not.
All right. Well, that being said, it's time for everybody's segment of the day. This is the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
Yes, the lightning round. We're going to run through all the stories we didn't have a chance to. Give you a second for your last-minute hot takes on anything we've talked about, anything we haven't. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Got first story in the lightning round. You were quick on that one. I didn't even say lightning yet. And you were already.
You gave me that and I was ready for it.
Man.
Some say lightning fast.
Woo.
It's me. I'm the somebody.
You are. You are. I don't know. I don't know how to classify this. I feel like this is bad news. And I hate sharing bad news with you guys during the lightning round. Sometimes we got to break bad news. I think that we can talk this guy out of it. Tim Walz on his presidential ambitions for 2028.
Things differently. Last two quick questions. First question that people would kill me if I didn't ask. Are you thinking about running in 2028?
I am not. And my job, and I say that, I am doing all I can to help build the party and make sure whoever that person is wins.
Well, we appreciate it.
And I think we need to flood the zone with people.
He's not running for president? Timmy, my guy. You got to rethink this. Tim, I think that we should do everything in our power to boost up and inflate the egos of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to run again. Wouldn't you? Who says no? I know conservatives won't. Got another story for you in the lightning round? Lightning round. Lightning. There it is. And I thought Sam was slow yesterday to the lightning.
Listen, so a little peek behind the curtain here. Chris said, hey, I got a buddy coming in that wants to check out radio. Mason, show him everything.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm showing him everything.
But you have to show him how to execute. You got to show him how to execute. When I say lightning, we get lightning.
True.
It's not thunder.
You're right.
It's not thunder. It's not.
It's
lightning. Nice. And this is going to, listen, if the last story bummed you out, Tim Walz not running for president in 2028, this one might put you into a damn near depression over the weekend. And again, I am sorry to do this to you during the lightning round. But it appears Stephen Colbert, he's been canceled. Yes, CBS, according to Deadline, is canceling the Stephen Colbert Show. And it's going to end in May of 2026 at the end of the broadcast season. He said, I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away. That's how bad you did, Steve. They're not even going to try and rebuild the show after you. You're done. You know what I think really did him in for his listening audience? So it was the vaccine. Do you remember the vaccine? The little dance that he had, the little song where he had the dancing syringes?
The vaccine.
And then all the ladies came out. I think a dude or two dressed as vaccines. And they were singing about get your booster. You got to get the booster. Yeah. How could this get canceled? Mason, why did this get canceled?
I don't know.
Nobody does. So good. I mean, the dancing.
Vaccine.
Why? I don't see any reason why this wouldn't continue to go on.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're pushing an agenda or anything. It's just good, happy fun.
They stayed away from politics pretty much.
Yeah, it's supposed to keep it casual and inviting.
Yeah. They were like low key, like just chilling.
This is for everybody.
You know what really angers me though? There wasn't one mask on somebody in that crowd. Son of a gun. You're not supposed to. You got to wear your mask.
That's on the stream. You could see it. I don't think Stephen Colbert is 6 feet away from that lady. I'm just saying.
He wasn't social distancing.
I think they're holding hands at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
Just saying.
Yep. So Stephen Colbert's out. Stephen Colbert is out. And then Donald Trump responded earlier today, and he said, "Great." I'm paraphrasing it. But he said, "Great. Now let's do Jimmy Kimmel."
I'm here for it.
All right, got another story for you in the lightning round. Man, quick to lightning. I love it. This one comes out of our neighbors across the pond, our friends in the UK. They're lowering the voting age in England.
What is it currently?
18.
They're lowering it?
They're lowering it to 16.
Why?
I think that they think it's going to help them for some reason. I don't know. It's Keir Starmer he's a conservative, right? And I know conservatives are different.
Air quote.
When you're in different countries, their conservatism is far different than ours, right? Like they're trying to conserve old school England stuff, or we're trying to conserve the Constitution. It's different. It's different. But Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of England, says, "No, yes, the bloody kids better vote." That's my best English accent. It's not as good as Chad Benson's, but I try.
I think it's really important that 16 and 17-year-olds have the vote because they're old enough to go out to work. They're old enough to pay taxes, so to pay in. And I think if you pay in, you should have the opportunity to say what you want your money spent on, which way the government should go. So I'm really pleased that we're able to bring more young people into our democracy and give them the chance to have a say over how their taxes are going to be paid and what they're going to be used for.
So, all right, my initial reaction to this story was great. Like, how this is going to pan out, right? The youth lean left. It's a tale as old as time. And that was my initial reaction. The liberals are going to take advantage of this, and that's going to hurt. But then I started thinking on this, and I realized it actually creates a hell of an opportunity for conservative-minded individuals in England. The youth aren't getting their news off of mainstream media anymore. They're not. They're getting it off the internet. And with enough finesse, I think that you could sway young voters to vote conservative and in the interests of Britain and England. I think that's a real possibility. And I'll tell you why I think it's a possibility, because we saw the youth swing in this country towards Donald Trump in ways that we never thought was ever going to be possible. The inroads that Donald Trump made with the youth were dramatic. And, you can look at organizations like Turning Point USA as an exclamation point on how we helped turn the youth vote around. I think that you have that opportunity to do it in England. And you got a group of kids that probably weren't thinking about politics, but suddenly are. You got a group of kids who have seen the government lie over and over and over again when it comes to the grooming Pakistani rape gangs in their country. You have a group of kids who have seen their aunts and uncles and moms and dads and grandparents locked up over Facebook posts. I think you got an opportunity here. So my initial reaction to being able to vote at 16 in England was that's a bad idea. Now I'm thinking, maybe, just maybe, there's a silver lining here. And this could actually help. I definitely don't think it'll hurt. I mean, England's pretty far gone, right? So hopefully it helps. We'll see what happens. But it's an interesting story nonetheless. Got another one for you here in the lightning round.
Sorry, the storm's moving right a little bit.
Yeah, the storm. It was. What does the storm do? It stalled. The storm stalled for a second.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Stalled for a second. The city of Portland.
I think it's really important.
Oh, sorry. Shut up, Keir Starmer. Sorry. We just did your story, dude. Chill.
You've had your turn.
All right, moving on. The city of Portland. Do you know how much they spent to fight homelessness in 2024? $700 million.
What?
Do you know what happened after they spent $700 million to fight homelessness in 2024?
I have a guess, but please tell me.
Homelessness increased. Weird.
My guess was nothing.
More than $700 million was spent last fiscal year to address homelessness in the Portland region, according to a recent report from the research group Eco Northwest. The report, titled Sources and Uses of Resources to Address Homelessness in the Portland Region, examined how federal, state, local, and private dollars were used across the Tri-County area. This includes funding sent to Multnomah and Washington counties, the city of Portland Metro, and dozens of nonprofit organizations. Nonprofit organizations. You know, they'll say nonprofit, and they weasel their way around that by paying the CEO $250,000 a year. Oh, we made a little profit. Here's a bonus. So nonprofit organizations. Per Oregon Public Broadcasting, the number of people experiencing homelessness in Multnomah County, in which the city of Portland lies, between January 2024 and the beginning of 2025, increased by a whopping 26%. Yes, $700 million spent fighting homelessness got you a 26% increase in homelessness. We actually talked about this the other day. There is no incentive to actually end homelessness with these nonprofits. There is none. If I'm a CEO of a company fighting homelessness and I'm making $250,000 a year doing that, why on earth would I want to stop the gravy train? You don't. And they can keep throwing money at this problem. It's never going to fix it. It's not. Researchers identified 522 distinct uses for the funds, ranging from outreach and shelter to housing placement and administrative overhead. Nearly half of the total funding from the Metro Regional Government through supportive housing services tax. Additional contributions were $100 million from the federal government. Yeah, money well spent. That's yours and mine. $70 million from Multnomah County, $66 million from the city of Portland, $39 million from the state of Oregon, and an even larger share from private philanthropy. You know how they put it? They said it's a complex landscape. Yeah. It's complex. It's very complex. Eco Northwest found that $250 million was spent on safety on and off the streets, a broad label that largely refers to shelter services, homeless outreach, and camp cleanups. $219 million went to supportive housing programs, $141 million on housing placement efforts, $64 million on system access assessment and navigation, and $46 million on administrative costs. I wonder, because I know they do this, I wonder how much was spent on free crack pipes and needles in these communities too, because that's definitely baked into the cake. So $700 million to fight homelessness will only land you a 26% increase in homelessness. Got it. Love it. Got another one here for you. In the lightning round. It's a slow-moving storm today.
Bro, I almost activated your music and cut you off.
All right. Medicaid fraud. Obviously, it's a right-wing conspiracy theory, right? Yep. Huge right-wing conspiracy theory. Well, here's one for your tinfoil hat. About 85 autism clinics in Minnesota are under investigation for tens of millions in Medicaid billing fraud. Yes, you heard me right. 85 autism clinics in Minnesota under investigation, tens of millions in Medicaid billing fraud. The State Department of Human Services, DHS, is under a microscope for paying outrageous amounts for services supposedly delivered by the state's burgeoning autism treatment sector, according to KSTP-TV. The records show that DHS paid out claims totally about $700 million since the state's autism program began in 2014, but millions of that seems to be paying for services that were never rendered. And investigators say that some $20 million has been fraud. Now, DHS is reportedly visiting every one of these states' locations after data shows that at least 85 of them fraudulently billed the program. When the left tells you that there's no fraud, waste, and abuse, just point towards Minnesota, don't you know? It's 11:52, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Nice. 11:57, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Chad Benson's in studio. What's up?
What's up? Ready? It's Friday.
Me and Chad were laughing. He said, I'm just connecting dots on the LA explosion. He's like, you connecting dots?
No way.
Never.
Never.
It's actually what I get paid to do here.
Just connect the dots.
Yep.
You see things before they happen.
It's crazy.
So the officers, was it the Officers Bureau? Is that what they're called? It's that place?
You said the explosion in LA was at 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30
in the morning.
morning.
I missed that. That seems really early.
They only train in the morning.
Okay.
So they only train from like 5 or 6 in the morning up until like 10 or 11, and then they go out to their other jobs. And it's kind of like the SWAT team, but for the sheriffs.
Got you.
So that's all. But they only train in the morning.
So are you open to the possibility that this was
That's the first thing
intentional?
I thought somebody's done something stupid. And then when you start finding out more that it's like, okay, this is where they train, this is where they do their bomb disposal, and they're practicing, and they practice with live rounds, but they also practice with C4 and all that kind of stuff. So because it looks like it was on the inside of the building. I'd find it hard to believe that somebody could get in on the inside and do something. That place is probably pretty locked down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly where the explosion took place, but I do know they said car windows were blown out.
Must be big enough to do something like that. Would kill 3 people instantly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy. So, so that's interesting.
Well, prayers for the family and the deputies, says that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if it was just a training exercise. I don't know. I think it'd be more heartbreaking if it was intentional, actually. But either way, it sucks, man.
It super sucks. I mean, at a time that we've got a lot of tension already with officers and whatnot. But if it's, a training exercise, you go and you train, but you never think, like you think about in the line of duty doesn't mean a normal day at work.
Right.
But even we talk about most of our military, a lot of our military dads come in training.
Yeah.
It's we don't think about that. We think about the hazards going on outside of there.
Yep. But
what did you talk about today?
Well, we talked about that. We talked about the great birthday card.
Phenomenal.
That
was a great birthday card.
So I'm actually, I landed on my next tattoo.
Did you? Have you seen the picture?
Enigmas never age. I'm getting it on my lower back this weekend.
Little tramp stamp
on my lower back. They say Enigmas never age.
Enigmas never age.
I'm pretty sure I regret all of my tattoos. This one, I feel like I'll never regret.
No, you're never going to regret that. Never going to regret that one. That one's awesome.
If you got any tattoo shop recommendations
get it in
the
either
borough?
Old English or typewriter.
Yes, typewriter. It has to be typewriter.
It's got to be typewriter.
I'll show off the new tattoo on Monday. You guys are going to be very excited.
I'm excited for it.
Actually, it'll be Tuesday. I'm off Monday. My parents are in town.
So are you going on the boat this weekend?
I don't have any idea.
Okay.
I know we're going on a boat at some point. Couldn't tell you what day.
Solid.
I'll check with management and I'll get back to you.
Oh, does management know?
Management definitely knows.
Sounds like fun.
So I'll figure that out. Chad's in next. It's 12 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7